Wonder Woman 1984 debuted on HBO Max. Now, I didn't want to do this, but I cannot talk about this film without spoilers. Now, these aren't spoilers that I think would ruin the plot, but they are going to reveal things that are kept secret from the trailers and stuff like that, but very obviously are hinted in the trailers, but just they're not in the trailer. So if that's something that worries you, click off now. Now, I reviewed the first Wonder Woman movie. I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think it could have been a bit better, and I was really excited for this one, because my criticisms with the first Wonder Woman is, for a character like Wonder Woman, the movie wasn't colorful enough. It wasn't energetic enough. Now, a lot of that had to deal with the fact that we are dealing with World War I, but still. So when I saw the trailers for this movie, I was like, yes, give me that. So it was very awkward trying to watch this movie, okay? I went on HBO Max. I woke up very early, about 6 o'clock, somewhere in there, and I just said, I want to watch Wonder Woman. So I went to HBO Max. And the first thing I saw was, do you want to watch the opening scene of Wonder Woman? Do you want to watch the live pre-show with interviews with Gal Gadot and all that? I'm like, no! I want to watch the movie. So I searched the search bar. Nothing. I went into Max Originals section. Nothing. I went into the DC section. Nothing. It was so impossible to find this movie. I didn't end up watching it to 10 o'clock in the morning, because when I went to go watch it, it wasn't available on the service. HBO Max, if you're going to be debuting all your 2021 movie slate, you better do it better than this, because that is terrible. Just, I cannot believe how terrible that kind of marketing is. Wow. Anyways. So, what I think about the movie. Now, I watched the opening scene. Now, the first opening fight scene. Now, I will talk about this. The opening action scene on Themyscira is bullcrap. Okay, that scene should have been cut out of the movie. I don't get the point to why it was there, except for to hint at the golden armor that Wonder Woman was going to put on, and so they could bring back a phrase. But did you need to build up to a phrase that you're going to repeat in the movie? Like, no. It was very, very stupid. Now, I was wondering, how are you going to bring back Steve? And is it going to work? Now, the plot of this movie is there's a stone created by the gods that's a wishing stone. And basically, and it's like monkey's paw logic, right? So you make a wish, and then it slowly backfires on you and screws you over. And like, it feels like they wrote this story as a way to bring back Steve into the movie. And I think that was just very stupid. Because Steve was fun. He had great chemistry with Gal Gadot. Chris Pine is a great actor. I don't want to say great, but a pretty good actor, you know. And he gave a great energetic performance in the first movie with Gal Gadot. They had good chemistry, but he died. His death scene was emotional. It was a great part about the movie. He doesn't stay dead in this movie. Again, spoilers, but it's just very strange. It's very strange watching this movie, because I'm watching it and I'm like, these concepts, this wishing stone, are very cheesy. But it's not put in a way that the movie feels like it's cheesy. It doesn't feel like a cheesy movie. A lot of these scenes are taken with actually a lot of dignity. And it's like, I don't want to say dignity, but just not as cheesy as it should have been. Like Shazam, I like Shazam. and the original Spider-Man trilogy, a lot of those movies have very stupid and corny things in them, but because of the cheesy tone, and it makes those things excusable and a lot better. But here it's just like, why isn't this movie cheesy like that? I knew from the first opening set piece, action piece, that something wasn't right here. So we got the first opening set piece. We got some guys in a mall. I wasn't really sure what they were trying to do in this mall, but this guy drops a gun out of his bag, and this lady screams, "Gun!" And everybody starts running around in this mall, like that's a little, like, here's how this should have gone down. The guy drops the gun out of his bag, like he gets bumped by a lady, or whatever. He goes to pick it up. While the lady has her back turned, he picks it up. Then she turns around, and while he's picking it up, it looks like he's aiming the gun at her. It's little things like that that really just add up to why this movie just doesn't work. Just stupid little things. And there's so much happening in this movie. There's so many scenes that I'm like, what's the point of this scene? Why can't you just cut out this? Why couldn't you just shorten this down? Why did Steve need to come back? Really? Kristen Wiig, I was worried about her from the trailers. Kristen Wiig is terrible as Cheetah. Now, Cheetah is a character from the Wonder Woman comics, and I knew they were going to do it. I just wasn't sure how you would translate that to screen, and I don't think they did that. And it's also just strange because she's no longer Cheetah, which is like, I don't know how I feel about that, because Cheetah is Wonder Woman's most famous of her villains. Kind of not having her as a villain is ridiculous. But she's just not Cheetah anymore, which, okay. But just, Kristen Wiig was okay in the movie, but she just wasn't right for the character. Because when she finally actually becomes Cheetah, it doesn't work. She's not right for this part. She didn't give a terrible performance. It was just kind of odd, and the whole time I was thinking, why? And then we also had the other villain in this movie, Pedro Pascal's character. I have no idea what this guy's plan was. I can't even properly explain to you. I don't know what this character's plan was, and it just doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. And again, a lot of this plot is ridiculous. It feels like it's based on like Richard Donner, Superman 2 and Superman, the movie. But that movie had more of a cheesy vibe than these movies do. This movie does not feel cheesy. They are taking this seriously. And that's a really big issue with this movie. It just doesn't all come together. This movie tries to do so much, and it just doesn't come together. It doesn't make sense. It's just like, you should have just picked one of these plots that you want to do. If you want to do Cheetah, cool. Then why is Pedro Pascal here? We didn't need two villains. The whole, him trying to do good on his son, why is his son here? His son does not need to be here. He's a character who says nothing. The kid says nothing. Wow, he looks like a loser in front of his kid. I don't give a crap. Because there's no reason to care about what you're showing me. Except he cares about it. But why do I care about Pedro Pascal's character? I don't even know his name. I think it was like Maxwell or something like that. It's just, it was just bad, this movie, in a lot of areas. It's overly long. It's not longer than most movies in the genre of superhero movies, but it doesn't, it's still like, it's just, the movie could have been cut down a bit. There are scenes that could have been cut out of this movie. It should have been way more cheesy than it was if you wanted to do some of these stupid things. Because I don't have a problem with some of the things they were trying to do if they'd done them better. Except for Steve. There's no way to bring that character back in a good way. And it's also just weird, okay? Because we're talking about Wonder Woman, okay? She knew Steve for like a week. Then he died. And then she knew him for a week. And about 60 years later, she's still, like, not gotten over this guy? 60 years? That's a little ridiculous. I just don't buy into this. I don't know. I really wanted to like this movie, and while I was watching it, I was sitting there going, there's so much here I want to like, but I just don't like it. And it was very sad watching it, and I just couldn't get into it. It just had so many issues, and it just didn't come together in the end. It was very disappointing. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.